All right. I wanted to explain some business tactics and some ways to open businesses and kind of explain to you guys off of my video yesterday where I posted that I was going to come here and do manual labor and feel the pain and feel the struggle and all that kind of stuff. There's some comments, that people are curious, like, if you own a multi-million-dollar company and you're a CEO, technically you're supposed to buy back your time and hire other people to do positions that pay less money. Why would a CEO of a company that's worth this amount of money per hour be trimming the hedges and getting his hands dirty and mowing the lawn and doing the weed killer and weed eating and moving into the new location when he's supposed to be buying back his time and having someone else underneath him do that? And that's a very good point. And I just wanted to make a post and kind of explain some business tactics on how you start a new business. There's a college education way and a way that is proper and a way that is taught. And then there's also a way that I've done it myself that works as well. So there's two different types of ways that you can start a new business or open another location. The first way and what is taught is to hire forward. And that's what I did with my Houston location. I put a certain amount of money in the bank account for the new business, and that paid for the startup costs for the entire business. It paid for all the fixed expenses, getting the building ready, and hiring forward all the employees. So like in Houston, I hired forward, the branch manager, the general manager, the sales manager, the finance manager, and all the salesmen. And that money that you put in the account pays for their salaries while they're getting that location off the ground, and you kind of pay for everything until it starts coming back to you in revenue. And with my DFW location, I'm starting it differently. So whenever I started my business originally, I left a company and I got my dealer's license, my wholesale dealer's license, and I went into a high rise, and I started with my wholesale dealer's license off the Riverwalk in San Antonio, and I started that business with nothing. I had $2,500 in the bank, and that's it. And I had another commission check coming in a couple of weeks. And whenever I got my dealer's license, that used up $800, and I bought this and I bought that, and I used up that $2,500. And there's a time in which, I started that business with nothing but faith, and my trust in my God. And I sat there in that office and I prayed. They were building a new church next door, and I was praying every day directed at that church, and I was desperate. Please don't let me go out of business. Please help me survive. I had $0 in the bank. I had nothing. And I actually had lawyers calling me, attacking me for my letter of non-compete for my other company. And it was scary as heck. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I did a deal. And as soon as I did a deal and I made a little bit of money, I was like, woo, I can go buy computers and printers and staplers and stuff like that. And I did that. And then I did another deal and I could buy this. And then I did another deal and I could buy that. And then I hired my first employee, and then, it kind of took off. And so, I said that I was opening my third and final business ever in my lifetime. And that's true and correct. Now I've bought and sold other businesses. I've bought struggling businesses and rebuilt them and resold them. And so I've been involved in a lot of other businesses and stuff. But this is my third and final business that I'm going to start. I decided to not do the hire forward theory, which is a good business educated way to do things. This time I decided I wanted to do it just like I was starting my business again when I was younger. And I wanted to start it with nothing. I wanted to feel like the pressure. And, I am a CEO and I should be buying back my time, and other people should be doing these things for me, but I'm choosing to do it myself. I'm choosing to be the only employee here whenever I start the business. I want to feel the pressure of thinking that if I don't sell a truck and make some money, I won't be able to pay the bills here. Or if I don't sell enough trucks, that this place, could fall. And I want that pressure. I want that pain, and I want that struggle. So the other way of starting a business is starting it with nothing through the faith of God, your faith that you can perform, and that you can make this thing succeed with nothing. And I take pride in that, and I want to do it that way. So it's hire as needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to be the branch manager, the sales manager, the title lady, the salesman, the janitor, the lawn guy. I'm going to be all of those things, and I'm going to sell trucks myself, by myself. And so if you want to buy a truck from me, whenever I open my Fort Worth location, you can come buy a truck directly from me. And I'm going to get this, it's a pride thing for me. You know, I'm going to get this place off of the ground, off of nothing. I'm not putting a ton of money in an account and hiring forward the full staff. I'm not doing all that. I'm doing it because it's my last business that I'm opening, and I want to do it with nothing. I want to start with nothing, and I want to claw and climb my way into success again. And I'm going to hire as needed. So I'm going to be selling the trucks at first. And as I get overloaded with customers, then I'm going to hire a salesman. And then when that salesman gets overloaded with customers, then I'm going to hire another salesman. And then when that salesman gets overloaded, I'm going to hire another salesman. And then once I have enough salesmen that they need a manager, then I'm going to hire a manager. And once we need a finance manager, I'm going to put a finance manager in. So there's two ways to start a business. Either put a bunch of money in an account, hire forward and do everything forward, or start with nothing, do everything yourself, and as you get overloaded, hire employees to buy back your time. You know, so my idea is to start this business with nothing, with zero. I'm going to document a lot of it with videos and stuff like that, and you can watch me grow this business with nothing. You can ask my CFO, Andrew. Literally, like, we have money to be able to do whatever we want to do. We can put a bunch of money in an account, and I can just utilize it to make things easy on me and comfortable. But I don't want that. I want to start it with nothing. I want to know that I grew it from nothing, and I want to know that my pain and my struggle is what created the success in this business and got it off of the ground. So that's my idea, and that's what I'm going to do on this business. Both ways works, just so you know. When you're starting a business, you can either put a whole bunch of money in an account that you've been saving or got a loan with or just whatever, and you can hire forward and pay all the fixed expenses up front and have enough for 3 to 6 months for them to survive and kind of front the money and then wait for it to come back to you with revenue. Or you can start with nothing, and you can and I'm telling you right now, you can start a business with nothing. I started my company with $2,500 in the bank, and I used all $2,500 of that to get my licenses and everything. And I built a multi-million-dollar business. I actually bought another business within 8 months after I started I bought Pit Stop Diesel Service, a mechanic shop. I bought a failing business, a diesel mechanic shop, off of all the money that I made, and I rehabilitated that company and sold it like 3 or 4 years later for like 4 or 5 times what I paid for it. But that's what I like to do, man. I like to start with nothing, feel the pressure, feel the pain. I like to have the fear. That fear is what drives me, and it makes me perform at a high level. And that's how I'm going to do it with this branch, man. So you guys are going to watch it. I have this huge yard. I can fit 300 to 500 trucks on this yard in Fort Worth, man. It's going to be 2 or 3 more weeks before I open. We're going to be painting the building today and refacing the sign and painting the sign in the next week or so. And I'm going to start this business with zero. My first truck sale is what's going to help me buy more furniture in here. My second truck sale is what's going to help me hire another salesman or something. You know, my third truck sale is what's going to help me do this and that. And it's really cool and it's really fun. And I've chosen to do it that way because, you know, whenever you're a business owner, you want to feel like your pain and your struggle is what created everything, you know? And so I've chosen to do that. I can do it a different way, but I just wanted to explain it to you guys. That's why I'm going to be here being the gardener and being the janitor and everything at first. You know, it's a pride thing for me, and I just get off on that stuff. It's really fun. So anyhow, I hope you guys like these videos. I hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.